The city morgue in Chicago ran out of room on July 14, 1995. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office, which on a normal summer day received 17 bodies, was now processing 87 in a single day. Refrigerated trucks, the kind used for transporting meat, were parked outside to handle the overflow. The living didn't know the dead were piling up. The city switchboard was overwhelmed. The hospitals were past capacity, and the air itself felt like something alive and hostile, pressing down on every surface, every street, every person who didn't have a way out. This is the story of the deadliest heat wave in American history. Not a hurricane, not a tornado, not a blizzard. Heat. Silent, invisible, unstoppable heat. It began, as most disasters do, with something that seemed almost ordinary. On July 11, 1995, temperatures in Chicago climbed to 90 degrees. Uncomfortable, but not unusual for mid-July. The dew point was rising. Forecasters noticed the 500 millibar chart. High in the atmosphere, roughly 18,000 feet above the Earth's surface, a ridge of high pressure was building over the central United States. Not just building, dominating. Height readings at 500 millibars reached 594 decameters, or DAM for short, over the Midwest. To put that in plain English, the atmosphere was so warm, so compressed with heat energy, that the point in the sky where air pressure equals 500 millibars was nearly 2 miles above where it normally sits. This was the signature of a heat dome. And this one had a feature meteorologists don't see often. It had a closed contour ridge. Think of a hill on a map where the contour lines curve northward but never form a complete loop. Air can flow around them. Cool air can occasionally push through. But a closed 594 dam contour in July is exceptionally rare. When it happens over the most densely populated, most humid agricultural corridor in North America, you get July 1995.
By Wednesday, July 12th, Chicago's temperature reached 98 degrees Fahrenheit. The dew point was 79 degrees. The heat index, the fields-like temperature that accounts for humidity, climbed above 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it didn't cool off at night. The low temperature at O'Hare Airport that night was 81 degrees Fahrenheit, nearly 20 degrees above normal. People in apartments without air conditioning, many of them elderly, many of them alone, had no relief. No 6-hour window of cooler air to let their bodies recover. Night after night, the heat persisted. Thursday, July 13th, was the worst day. At Midway Airport on Chicago's south side, the mercury rose to 106 degrees Fahrenheit, the highest temperature recorded in Chicago since the Dust Bowl days of 1934. The official heat index reached 124 to 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Meteorologists later reanalyzed the data and estimated the actual heat index at Midway, accounting for the full dew point readings, may have reached 141 degrees. The temperature at Midway Airport stayed at or above 100 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 consecutive hours. 7 hours of triple-digit air. The overnight low that night was 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Dew points hovered near 80 degrees across the city, values you'd normally find in August in Houston. But Chicago, as catastrophic as it was not where the most extreme numbers occurred. 200 miles to the north in Appleton, Wisconsin, a city on the Fox River, a city known for cheese, for paper mills, for cold winters, something happened that has never been matched in the Western Hemisphere. At 5 p.m. on July 13, 1995, the weather observer at Appleton recorded an air temperature of 104 degrees Fahrenheit and a dew point of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. A dew point of 90 degrees. To understand what that means, dew point is the temperature at which the air becomes fully saturated with moisture. A 90-degree dew point means the air is carrying as much water vapor as would exist above a swimming pool in equatorial Africa. The human body sweats to cool itself. Sweat works by evaporating. Evaporation pulls heat away from the skin. But when the air is already saturated with water at 90 degrees, your sweat cannot evaporate. Your body's cooling system shuts down. At Appleton on July 13th, the resulting heat index was 153 degrees Fahrenheit, the highest reliably recorded heat index in the history of the Western Hemisphere. How did a city in Wisconsin reach a dew point of 90 degrees? Part of the answer lies underground. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, they are covered with corn. Millions of acres of corn. all in active growth phase in mid-July. A single mature corn plant transpires 50 gallons of water over a growing season, pushing moisture into the air through its leaves. When a stagnant southwesterly flow dragged that moisture-laden air northward beneath the locked heat dome, Wisconsin received air that had been cooked and humidified over thousands of square miles of Corn Belt fields before it ever arrived. The Corn Belt acted as a giant humidifier for the entire upper Midwest.
To the south, St. Louis, Missouri was suffering differently. St. Louis sits at a lower latitude and had been cooking for longer. In the summer of 1995, St. Louis recorded 18 days with maximum temperatures of 95 degrees or higher in a 28-day stretch from late June through mid-July. During the peak of the heat wave, the maximum temperature in St. Louis reached 107 degrees Fahrenheit on July 21st. The dew point record for St. Louis stands at 83 degrees Fahrenheit, set July 14, 1995, the day after Chicago's worst. Heat indices in St. Louis during the peak exceeded 110 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit on multiple consecutive days. The heat moved in waves, building and refusing to break. La Crosse, Wisconsin tied its all-time record of 108 degrees. Temperatures across Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri pushed into triple digits. The heat stretched east. Pittsburgh hit 100, and Danbury, Connecticut hit 106 degrees, Connecticut's highest recorded temperature ever. The upper-level ridge tracked eastward through mid-July, dragging the disaster with it. In Chicago, the death toll rose with horrifying speed. By the end of the first day, 30 people had died. By July 15th, the count was over 300. When it was all over, when the ridge finally broke and cool Canadian air pushed south on July 16th, the final count was staggering. In Cook County alone, 739 people died above the expected weekly average. Official heat-related deaths in Chicago, 465. Across the Midwest, more than 1,021 people died of heat-related causes in just 5 days. 73% of those who died were over the age of 65. More than half lived alone. More than half had no air conditioning. The neighborhoods hardest hit were the urban heat islands, dense blocks of brick and concrete that absorbed heat all day and released it all night, where overnight temperatures were sometimes 10 degrees warmer than the suburbs. The refrigerated trucks ran around the clock. Mayor Richard Mine Daley initially resisted the framing of a disaster. A press conference was held on the afternoon of July 14th, at which a city official told reporters to go to the beach, to cool off, to stop making it a bigger story than it was. That same day, 87 bodies were logged at the medical examiner's office. The National Weather Service later stated, given the advance warning, many, if not all, of the heat-related deaths were preventable. That phrase landed like a verdict.
What the 1995 heat wave left behind was more than grief. It fundamentally changed how American cities think about heat. Before 1995, heat waves were not formally categorized as disasters. They didn't look like disasters. No damaged buildings, no visible destruction, nothing to photograph. After 1995, Chicago built a comprehensive heat emergency plan. Cooling centers opened automatically when the heat index was forecasted to exceed 90 degrees. Welfare checks were mandated for isolated elderly residents, and a dedicated emergency phone line for heat-related illness was established. The National Weather Service created a national heat forecast and warning system modeled on the Chicago experience. The CDC changed how it counted heat deaths. The science changed too. The 1995 event produced some of the most detailed post-event meteorological analyses ever conducted in the United States. Researchers documented the closed contour ridge, the double capping inversions that trap heat near the surface, the Corn Belt moisture feedback, the urban heat island effect measured at over 6 degrees Fahrenheit in Chicago versus suburban areas. This single event remains the most studied domestic heat wave in American history, and its lessons are still being applied in models and warning systems today, including the extreme heat warning system that, as of this morning, covers Chicago, St. Louis, and dozens of other cities during a heat dome that meteorologists say may rival 1995 in its intensity. The closed 596 dam contour sitting over the Ohio Valley right now, as you listen to this, is the same signature, the same synoptic fingerprint as July 1995. The corn is in the ground. The dew points are rising toward 80 degrees. The models are running hot. 31 years ago, a city was caught off guard. Today, the warnings are out. The cooling centers are open. New episodes of Weather with Enthusiasm every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. CDT. Morning forecast aired daily at 7 a.m. on Spreaker. $5 a month supports independent weather journalism that never stops digging into the science. Stay cool, stay safe, and stay informed.
You know that this podcast has a supporters club? By becoming a supporter of the show, you can gain access to exclusive content and play an active role in helping the podcaster continue producing the content you love. See the link in the episode description for more details. Now, let's get back to the episode.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing and sharing with other people.